Donald Trump has made the extremely fatal mistake of assuming, thanks to AI imagery, that the Swifties have endorsed him this month. He seems to believe the Swifties have turned out for Trump, which isn't true. Donald Trump on Truth Social decided to post posts claiming that the Swifties are now in support of him. Apparently, they're in support of him. He says, "I accept." And what makes it even crazier is he posts not only AI images, but a satire post apparently assuming it's real. So Donald Trump says, "I accept" on Truth Social. Okay? Now, if we look right here, what does it say? What's this word right here? It says satire. And if you look at these pictures of these individuals wearing Swifties for Trump shirts, they're all fake. They're all AI generated. This picture on the right, top right, seems to be real. However, Taylor Swift in no form or fashion has endorsed Trump. The Swifties, as far as I know, have not spoken a word. I don't know what they're up to right now. But as far as I can tell, Donald Trump under zero circumstance has received the endorsement of the Swiftie, the Swiftie organization. This really just goes to show that Donald Trump has no idea as to what's going on. Donald Trump is in La La Land. The fact that this man would sit there and repost, and the fact that one of them says satire and he still posts it, is crazy to me. And I see people trying to play the whole, cleanup game of, Donald Trump was just joking. He didn't mean that. It says satire. He didn't mean that. Sure, he didn't. Sure. He just, satirically took a picture of a real Swiftie for Trump, paired it up with a fake picture of Swifties for Trump, and just thought it was a joke. The reality of the situation is Donald Trump is just completely divorced from reality in every conceivable way. And somehow or another, he thought the Swifties had formed up behind him. I don't think that's the case. But the reality of the situation is Donald Trump is completely divorced from reality. This man is running a campaign with an individual who repeatedly insults women who are childless over and over and over and over and over again. An individual who refuses to endear himself to women, to childless women, to even just women, women. JD Vance only seems to value women in any kind of high regard in the event that they have kids and have a family. If you aren't having families, if you aren't a woman who's reproducing, you seem to be of little importance to JD Vance. And I think it's really, really important for the Swifties who do support Trump, because I know you guys are out there. It's really important for you Swifties for Dump to realize this is not the party for you. You might think it is, but it most certainly is not. And I think a lot of Trump supporters think this stuff is cute until it really gets ugly. The conservative right becomes further and further and further radical every day. And the reality is, if you are a minority, if you're black, if you are brown, if you're, any sort of minority group, religious minority, LGBTQ, if you're a woman, this party, this Republican Party is not your friend. It's not your friend. It is absolutely not your friend. Every day, they grow more radical and radical and radical. Every day, they embrace more and more insane ideology. The vice president has yet to even speak highly of women outside of them being, broodmares, basically. Donald Trump brazenly and boldly associates himself with JD Vance in spite of this. Donald Trump constantly denies being associated with Project 2025, but he's constantly hanging out with these people, and you find pictures of him, flying with them on his private jet. I'm asking Swifties for Trump to realize this is not the party for you. They're not your friends. They are absolutely not your friends. You have people on the right talking about how we need to instill laws that maybe reflect the idea that men and women are equal. These people want to take you back. There's a reason why Kamala Harris continues to say, we're not going back. These individuals genuinely want to take you back to a time where many of you can't even vote, if any of you at all. That's how insidious and malevolent and evil this movement is, to the point where there are men in this movement who actually want women to not have the right to vote. It's insane to me. It's insane given the fact that women are striving in college. They're doing better than men. when it comes to getting an education and getting good paying jobs, women are contributing to the economy. Women are working hard to take part in our society. Now, that's no strike against young men who at this moment are dealing with an issue of checking out of society. There's no need to pit the genders against one another, but women are doing amazingly well outside of having kids and having a family. And if the right can't acknowledge that, and there's rummagings of people calling for the end of women's right to vote and passing laws that reflect the idea that men and women aren't equal, we have a problem here.
Maybe men and women really are different. Maybe not only our culture has to reflect that, but maybe our law ought to reflect that too. Very, very difficult though, because to do that, you would have to unwind the extremely radically liberal premise that is now part of our law, part of our civil rights law, which says that men and women are, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same. You'd have to get rid of that premise.
And I think it's incredibly important for people of everyone on the left to defend the rights of other people, regardless of what their political affiliation is. As a black man, although the repealing of women's right to vote might not affect me, you got to defend your fellow Americans. You have to. And I hate to break it to Swifties for Trump. I hate to break it to, black Americans for Trump. I hate to break it to even white Americans for Trump. Donald Trump and his movement represents the end of democracy, the end of equal rights for all, for LGBTQ, for women, and possibly once they get comfortable enough and they feel like they can stretch their limbs enough, possibly even people of color. This movement will take us back to an era that could possibly tear us apart. And it is incredibly important for Swifties who really do support Trump to I'm not saying you got to abandon your Christian conservative values, but Donald Trump is not a reflection of Christian conservative values. He is not. The Republican Party today is a party of hatred, of a lack of empathy, a desire to destroy and to withhold blessings and care for others. That is exactly what this party represents. And I would implore and encourage Swifties for Trump to reconsider. I think the door needs to always be open between Americans. I believe the door should always be open to any and all Americans. I don't believe the average Trump supporter is the enemy of the United States or an enemy of me. However, y'all need to realize Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, sickening group. Absolutely sickening group. They sat there and called Kamala Harris DEI over and over and over again. And it's not just Kamala Harris. If you are a woman and you mess up just once in anything, or they don't like your politics, you're automatically DEI. White woman, brown woman, black woman, mixed woman, all you have to do is commit the crime of being a woman and being present in a political or corporate space, and all you need to do is have a bunch of dudes who are jealous of the position you're in, and now all of a sudden you're DEI. Credentials don't matter. Experience don't matter. People who can vouch for what you've done in your life don't matter. All of that doesn't matter because you now stand in the way of what they want. So now you are DEI. These people have zero respect. To even sit there and speak that way toward Kamala Harris it's just evidence in and of itself of how these people feel about women being in spaces where these men feel as though they don't belong. DEI, DEI, DEI. It's almost like it's impossible for women, people of color, women of color, white women. It's almost like it's never good enough. If you mess up, if you're not perfect, if you disagree with their politics, you're all of a sudden DEI. And I don't want a country where women, regardless of race, cannot succeed and thrive without somebody being like, is there DEI going on over here? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't imagine working hard and knowing that every millisecond of your career is plagued by this assumption of DEI. But that is the culture that MAGA, the Trumpites, let's call them what they are, Trumpoids. I've seen people say Trumpoids. That's even funnier. This is the culture they're going to create, a culture in which your success will be in perpetual doubt from the day you achieve it to the day you surrender it. I don't want that kind of country for any group of people, especially not women. So, there are Swifties for Trump out there, and I would just kindly, politely ask you guys to just reconsider. If you are voting for Trump, I'd like you to reconsider possibly voting for Kamala. And once we push the Trump movement out of the way, and we can reform the Republican Party and bring it back to some level of normalcy and exercise it of the demons that have taken over, then, everybody goes their separate ways. Democrats stay, Republicans go to the new reformed, sane Republican Party. But as of right now, I would politely ask the Swifties for Trump to please do not vote for this man. Like, please, bro. Please, please, please do not vote for Donald Trump. Bro over there talking about some I accept. Ain't nobody said nothing to you. Taylor Swift ain't said nothing to you. The Swifties ain't said nothing to you. The Swifties have been mighty silent right now. I don't know what's going on. You know, and this possibly could be Swiftie Civil War. The writers this season have been crazy. Everything that's happened in the last month between the debate, the attempt on Trump, Biden dropping out, Kamala pulling up, Democrats up like 10 points. Like, there possibly could be a Swiftie Civil War in this timeline. Believe it or not. That's a possibility that we cannot ignore. And if that does happen, I can't lie. The writers went off this year. Okay, I don't know who's writing the storyline of humanity for 2024, but whoever you are, I'm gonna give you an E for effort, bro. Crazy. Well, that's it. I mean, like, you know, that's all I can really say is that, you know, if you're thinking of voting for Trump, Swiftie or no Swiftie, you know, maybe you're like, I don't know, maybe you don't even like music. Regardless of what the situation might be, I would kindly ask you guys to reconsider, bro. This man Trump has to be stopped. Please put a stop to this man. White women, we actually need you guys. Like, it's actually like, y'all actually might be what comes in clutch to save America. I know the left is always like, black people are going to save America, which, you know, sometimes happens, but I think people are actually underestimating, like, if white women really are frustrated enough with Dump and Vance, it actually could change the whole game. It could actually seal the deal. So I would encourage everybody to realize that this MAGA movement represents destruction for everybody. For women's reproductive rights, the ability to have children, the ability to, you know, have an abortion if you want. You know, I mean, there's a clip of Mike Johnson saying he doesn't support the idea of blue states, you know, keeping the right to abortion. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. These people literally exist to just ruin everyone else's fun. That's literally, I remember when Candace Owens uploaded a video getting mad at Taylor Swift for having fun at a football game. It was in that moment that I knew these people are possessed. They are possessed. I'm about to sound like Alex Jones, but they really are possessed by interdimensional demons. Yo, that was a joke. Okay, but seriously though, there is a demonic force. There's a satanic force. There is something demonic, something satanic, something hell spawned in the MAGA movement. How do you look at anyone having fun at a football game? But how do you look at an individual whose boyfriend is on the field playing and they're dancing and having fun with their friend, and you just have to just hate? That's not normal. These people aren't normal. They're odd individuals. I think they could be possessed by interdimensional demons. It's a possibility that we can't ignore. So, you know, that's just my little theory, but y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below. Possibly even international. They might have, the demons might have visas. Interdimensional demons in MAGA. Interdimensional demons in MAGA. I think that's a possibility. We gotta address it. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.